Hey peeps, what I have today in the world of fixing is a Lit Boost Countertop portable ice maker. We bought this and it worked for about one day, stopped making ice. The company ended up refunding us our money, told us to keep the thing. So I figured the worst thing I could do is break it more, so I ripped into it. Ended up on the bottom, took out a lot of screws, ended up taking the front panel and the back panel off. The problem with this ice maker was the ice full light was constantly on. Didn't matter what you could do. The shuttle mechanism would move forward. No water would pump into it. It would go back. Shuttle would go back. Didn't know what was wrong. So ripped into it. Ended up finding out that this little sensor was the culprit. The sensor senses when the ice evidently is full. It must also sense when the water needs added, etc. So what I ended up doing, first off, I thought maybe it was the pump. So I pulled this little pump out. That pump led back here to the control center. So that pump wiring came into here. The blue wire and brown wire. I ended up pulling those wires out. Ended up bench testing it with a DC volt wall adapter, like such. It's a positive center, so I ended up taking one wire, putting it in the center, putting the other, I believe the blue wire on the outside, and the pump ended up working. So on that bench test, found out the pump was operational. So I put it back in place, ended up figuring, well, maybe it's the sensor. So I traced the wire for the sensor, found out the sensor wire goes into here. So simply figured, if there's a problem with the sensor, you have to cut it, as I did. Cut the wire. So I ended up taking the wire from the sensor, splicing it together, duct taping it, which then creates a constant loop for the wire. So the black wire comes out, wrap it together, duct tape it, and it creates one loop now, giving that sensor a false sense that, hey, everything is working fine. So ended up plugging it back in. The ice full light is now out. Turn it on. As you'll see, the add water light will continue to blink. Since that sensor is not working now, it will not sense when the ice bucket's full, and it will not sense when it needs water or not. So you need to keep an eye on it so that it doesn't keep making ice and overloading it. So now the shuttle works. You will hear the pump turn on. It is now filling and it makes ice again. So I didn't break it, I fixed it. Bonus for me. Thank you.